Welcome to Latvia.
We are very proud of our nature. Over 50% of the country is covered by forest. And we have some beautiful beaches along 500 kilometers of coastline. We love music, from folk to rock. By average height, we are one of the tallest nations in the world. Which is useful, because we love basketball.
Well, we also love rally. Let's do this.
Welcome to Latvia, indeed. Thank you, Mārtiņš Sesks, and we will talk about all of that shortly. It's all done and dusted now for this year anyway. Round 8 completed, and Julian Ingrassia alongside me in this fantastic archive museum that Mārtiņš Sesks' dad built. Whew, that was a lot to process, but let's start with our flying fin.
The flying fin, yeah, they are here and always. Kalle and Yone delivered a perfect pace once again.
Yeah.
We know that they are in their own playgrounds, let's say when this is fast, flowing like this. But nothing to say, I mean, no mistake. The car was in perfect shape from the start to the end. And here is our friends. Congrats to them. We see that there is a big complicity in between the two guys, and it works well, smooth, clean.
What we expect, yeah. What we expect indeed. Well, Chenny just joining us out of the English commentary there. I know it's what we expect, but actually perhaps not what Kalle was expecting as much. He thought perhaps they were doing better in his last interview, he said, with Molly. His performance was better than perhaps even they expected.
I think Kalle Rovanperä is a very humble young man, to be honest. Kiri, you know, I said it in the commentary, he is up there with the likes of Max Verstappen in Formula One, Johan Kristoffersen in Rallycross. He is a phenomenal young man, and I think there's many more records to be broken in this sport, and Kalle Rovanperä will probably slap his name on a lot of them.
Yeah, is here to break them indeed.
And if we come back to Latvia, I think a lot of drivers anyway struggled with the pace itself, to find the good compromise for the setup, how to deal with this grip that was changing, or a bit weird, I would say, this weekend. So maybe this is one explanation also about the fact that Kalle was a bit grumpy on his pace.
Yeah, I mean, a fairly faultless weekend. You rarely get an absolutely faultless weekend, and there wasn't a place where you could say they put a foot wrong.
No, I think he hasn't put a foot wrong anywhere. I mean, the thing is, you're always, I think, as the rally drivers are always looking for perfection all of the time. And as Julian said, there were many variables across the weekend, particularly in the way that the stages were evolving. And I think this is running through either shots from Vecpils yesterday. I think that's the Vecpils stage yesterday, and that was one stage where we really saw the grip levels changing from the morning to when it was run in the afternoon. And Kalle was saying, yeah, look, I was a little bit surprised by the amount of grip I had, and I didn't utilise it, and there was more grip to play with. But every driver was saying it, you know, so it wasn't really that Kalle was compromised as a result of it. But for sure we have seen, this is the power stage, here you go, but for sure we've seen the stages evolve. Kalle has been there or thereabouts all weekend, and you know, he's won the most stages compared to everybody else. For me, I think he really got the work done on Friday and Saturday. Today was just a matter of getting through and managing the time.
Julian, talking about those records, he broke his own record, a 200 stage win, and then more.
And then more.
And then more.
Yeah, wait for Finland.
You know, that's it. We're sort of heaping that pressure on, and wait for Finland. We're kind of doing a Mārtiņš Sesks job on him again. We know obviously what Kalle can do, but the home rallies are always the hardest, aren't they?
Yeah, we say that it can be also kind of a source of motivation, and it seems that I feel that Mārtiņš Sesks was dealing good with that actually. For him, the pressure, the home city, the home country, the president here for him, and for the rally. It looked okay. I mean, like Kalle, you know, they have this kind of maturity in their spirits. They are very young, but very accomplished already.
Yeah, I agree, and I think as well, today was the day when the pressure was really on him, wasn't it? You know, yesterday, or Friday and Saturday, you're still quite a long way from the end of the rally, but when you've just got 4 stages to run and you're on the verge of your final podium, that's when the pressure's really there. And I think Mārtiņš Sesks dealt with it very, very well. And it's, look, I'm genuinely, I had a lump in my throat in the commentary box because you're so gutted for him. He hasn't put a foot wrong. I think what it looked like, it was a differential issue because he just couldn't get the car turned. But nonetheless, that's rallying, and it will come.
Do you know what? If anything was more representative of rallying, that moment, is it right? Mārtiņš Sesks is at the press conference now, right up at the power stage. That's all unfolding, and this is Mārtiņš just going up there. We heard very kind words from Ott Tänak and a lot of respect from the drivers out there. All of them just, you know, just showing the admiration for what he's achieved, because they've all been there. Julian, you were there with Seb when he's doing this in the younger days. The hardest ones are these early on ones.
Yes, and I remember we were speaking about being hometown and everything, winning the first events or scoring our first stage wins. That's part of the process, and there are, sorry, but plenty of drivers that never scored still a stage win. So he's on the line. This is part of the process, and don't do it in the order, I would say. And being in the middle of
how many world champions?
3 world champions. How many? So 9, 8 and 2 plus 1, 11 titles, and he was fighting with them. It's in the good way. I said it many times. I want to see him, and I push for that in Greece, in Central Europe.
Yeah, on a different rally. That would be great to see, the one that's not necessarily super high speed. And as well, look, we're talking about what's gone wrong at the final hour for Mārtiņš Sesks. There are so many positives from this weekend, and that's what he has to focus on.
And this is one of those. This was his first stage win, and it came so early on as well. He kind of, when we were speaking to him on the Thursday, mentioned that this stage was his stage when he got to the end of it as well. This was his stage, he'd said in the ERC. He won it by 16 seconds, and then his first stage win. That's a lot. Most people walking away from their second WRC event, a couple of stage wins would be enough.
Yeah, I agree, and I think, you know, the first stage win is always very, very special, isn't it? But to do it on home soil in your hometown with the very best drivers in the world around you, Sébastien Ogier, who is the daddy, and then Rovanperä as well, you know, to beat them fair and square is a special moment for him, and I think he's done a great job. And again, look at the positives from the weekend. It's gone wrong at the final hour. The dream wasn't to be, but there are plenty of positives.
I think, to be honest, what he's achieved, what he's shown this weekend is perhaps more than the podium is worth, because he's actually showed the rallying world exactly what he's capable of, and that's all that's needed at this point. Do you remember your first stage win?
Yes, I wanted to speak about it, but of course I do. I mean, it was in GB in Wales. Some snow at this time. It was in November.
A lot happened to you guys in Wales, didn't it?
Sorry?
A lot happened in Wales.
Yeah, I love this place anyway. And first time that we were in the WRC car with a C4 Citroën. The first stage has been cancelled. Too much ice and snow. Impossible to drive in those conditions.
Sounds
you
like
remember it? You were hurt?
No, I'm not that old. Not that old. Yes, I do remember it. Yes, I do.
And this is a record that will be, I must say, quite difficult to beat because Seb Ogier scored on his first real stage in WRC, his first stage win. How can you do to beat this record? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be a hard push to find someone that's going to beat that record.
But about the emotion, it was really so cool to see that, wow, we did it. We knew that we will crash at one point during the rally. We did it. Point.
Okay, well, this is Mārtiņš Sesks' first stage win moment, speaking to us at the stage end.
Mārtiņš Sesks, that is your first WRC stage win, and you've done it on home soil. How do you feel about that?
This stage, Tukum stage, last year we won it by 16 seconds. Now we had our first stage win. It's amazing.
For a moment there, I thought you might even nick the lead. You have got past Seb Ogier into second. You seem to lose a little bit of ground on the tarmac section. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I lost a bit on the exit of the onto the tarmac, but bloody hell.
Hey, it's game on though now. You've got the two-time world champion just a couple of seconds ahead of you on home soil. I'm not going to big you up, but it's coming.
No, we just have to refocus now. So,
well done, mate. Great drive.
One of the best smiles in the business there, a cheeky smile. You know, the amount of times he put his fingers in his ears while one of us was talking to him.
Yeah, that's great. He's just pure natural, and I mean, I love those emotions and those reactions.
Yeah, it was genuine. It was genuine, and again, like we always talk, you know, so much of this sport is in your head, and that's why when you're being bigged up and someone's going, "Oh, you could win this rally, you could this, that, and the other." No, I'm just focusing on what I'm doing. I don't want to change my mental mindset. I've got an approach. That's what I'm sticking with. It was working for him right up until, through no fault of his own, sadly, something let go on the car.
Well, worth mentioning the fans, though, the Latvian fans completely behind him the whole way. As they got to the end of the power stage, you could hear the fans chanting his name. He got on the car just, you know, to embrace that moment. The fans really have willed him along this journey.
We have been experimenting that also when the Rally Monte Carlo had his base camp in Gap, the native city of Sébastien Ogier. You can imagine all the power that we had behind us, and especially when we did it for the first time with the Volkswagen squads. We were shaking like this inside the car, and at the shakedown we did hit all the barriers and everything. Like, yeah, it was a mess.
Okay, well, this is his final interview with Molly Pettit at the end of the power stage. Again, you know, such disappointment and smiles. Have a look again.
So sorry, but as we can hear and see and feel, you are everybody's hero here.
Yeah, it was the first corner first, and we don't know, it's a diff problem or something like that, but yeah, it was already from the first corner. We understood that it's over, but I think we showed our pace and we made everyone happy, so it was not just the time.
Done an amazing job, well done.
Thank you.
Isn't it? You know, we're not biased, but we do get behind someone sometimes, don't we? We've got behind Tänak in Kenya a few times. You just get your heart set on a moment.
Yeah, of course, and you support an underdog. The sport would be very, very boring if it was always the same all the time, and it's not. And when Mārtiņš Sesks in Poland gave us a wonderful story, and he's done it at home here in Latvia. And remember the name, because I'm sure he'll be knocking about for a long, long time. Don't worry. And like he said, I think, and it was brilliant that he mentioned it, I think we've proved our pace. That's the most important thing.
Yeah, his weekend worth more than perhaps the podium in the end in his career. OK, well, we were talking about these records. You've got quite a few, so, you know, me and Jenny aren't jealous. But Kalle Rovanperä, just, again, he's made history. That's one of the most amazing things, is Kalle Rovanperä has actually made history, like you guys did along your journey. But this, again, an additional moment for him, taking his 200th stage win.
Yes, you know, the numbers have a very specific meaning.
Yeah.
It depends on how you get them, but in any case, you can be proud about it. I know that with Seb, we never really looked in the rearview mirror to say, okay, we have 500 stage wins or whatever. We know the way we did accomplish it. We know the sweat and the blood and the tears and the happiness we had to accomplish it. And I wish just the same for everyone. And Kalle is on a nice launch. We know also on a nice line. We know also that probably, I mean, it's not bad to say it right now, but probably rally is not maybe his only target of his life. So we will see where he goes.
Yeah, OK, all right. We are just having, I watched it at stage. A seamless stage there, Jenny.
Yeah, it was. I mean, like I said, I can't say enough. He hasn't put a foot wrong. He's driven extremely well this weekend, and he rightly deserved the win. He was able to find a 1/10 or 2/10 of a second a kilometre where other people weren't, and that's how fine the margins are. That's how stiff the competition is in the WRC at the moment. You know, we're getting to the end of a stage and going, he was a second quicker, and you know, you go back 7 or 8 years, a second was nothing. Now a second is a huge amount of time, and you can't afford to drop that. But like I said, Kalle was just able to find that extra 1/10 or 2/10 that just set him apart, and over a weekend that builds up, and that's what he's done.
OK, well, let's listen in to his end of rally interview with Molly Pettit.
Kalle, good morning. Quicker through by 2 seconds. You know what that means? It's a 200th stage win in the WRC. Well done.
Yeah, is it really? Yeah, that's quite cool. Yeah, if I would have known that, should have been a bit faster to make the gap bigger. But anyway, it was a clean stage.
I totally lied to you. That wasn't the end of the power stage. That was his 200th win. And I like his little quip there about having going faster. He's quite a good. We've got some quite good stage end. Quite good stage end responses from especially Adrian Formo and now Mārtiņš Sesks. Rovanperä is joining in as well.
Yeah, look, it's always nice to hear from the drivers at the end of the stage, isn't it? And see some personality. I think that's so important because that's our opportunity to see them and to hear from the drivers. We can't just rely on the emotion of what happens on the stages. It's great to hear from the drivers. And even Esa-Pekka Lappi, who's frankly had a shocker this weekend, you know, he's given us some great responses. So, you know, we always encourage the drivers to be themselves at the end of the stage, have some fun, and because that's what ultimately what the fans want. I do remember in particular, I can't remember exactly what rally it was, but a certain co-driver getting up and playing air guitar and the fans going wild for it. I don't know who it was, of course. French fella, apparently.
He doesn't like any of that funny music business, do you?
Australia 2000.
I think that's how we should finish the post show. Julian Ingrassia giving us some air guitar.
Do you know what? There's probably a car or two. There's a car or two lurking around. We'll find one for you. All right. So Ott Tänak. I spoke to Cyril Abiteboul pre-power stage, and he said some people are calling us Sunday drivers. You know what? It's a pretty good reference of a Sunday driver, if this is what you can do when you go out full speed on a Sunday.
Yeah, you need some energy. I remind you that a rally, this is not only 2 days or 3 days of competition, this is a whole week. So you need to keep concentrate, to keep the motivation also. And, you know, we have a sentence saying when you don't have the motivation, you have the discipline to do it. And here in this case, we know that Ott Tänak has also the anger, and he knows that he can still keep to the pace, I mean, to be in place for the championship, thanks to the Super Sunday. So you can keep some fresh tires, you can make the car the lightest possible, and go for it.
Yeah, definitely. I was talking to Jari Matti, because myself and Julian in the car were talking the other day about Ott's luck. And I said to Jari, I said the same thing that we were talking about. I was saying that Ott's not unlucky, but to be honest, the luck has not been on his side. The only thing we can work with this is that actually the bad luck perhaps has left him now. He's had all of the bad luck that any human could possibly have. Yeah,
I certainly hope so. I mean, he has, let's make no bones about it, he hasn't achieved his potential this weekend. Ott Tänak, for me, should have been winning this rally and taking maximum points. He's so good on the fast stuff. It's just that the car wasn't where he needed it to be on Friday. Rovanperä in the Toyota was, and he was instantly able to make take that advantage. But you know, the one thing about Ott Tänak is, and Julian just touched on it, is when he's angry, he just gets better and better and better. He refuses to give up, and he's come out today, giving us a hell of a show, taking maximum points under the new point structure. He's dragged himself right back into this championship fight, and that's what we want to see. You know, this is now a 3-horse race, and Ott Tänak has done a good job today, a brilliant job today.
Yeah, very definitely. It's Elfyn Evans that certainly needs to, in Finland, to make the most. He's done it before in Finland, so it'll be interesting to see, because Elfyn Evans needs to get a bit of that fire and breathe down Thierry and Ott's necks and, you know, really show what he's got to do. OK, well, while we're talking about this championship race, should we have a look through what Thierry's been up to? Just such a difficult... Sébastien Ogier, we'll have a look at now. Sébastien Ogier, we talk about it, and I know everyone gets frustrated with it, but the way he is and what he's been doing, you think a full season now?
Whoa. I mean, we have plenty of surprises, because I will never bet that put $1 that Seb will come to Finland Rally, because we know that this is a very specific one, a hard one. You need to take some risk to put your life in danger in a way. But it was one of the options he had with Toyota, saying, if ever I need to do one more race this year, it might be Finland. So this is not this is his choice in the end, you know. And after that, we have Toyota that is trying to get the maximum points. Each time Seb came, either he won or scored some really big points. Here he's the one that is scoring the maximum points and the best points during the weekend, 25. So you can't count on him. Maybe he had a period last year where he was a bit in between two waters, like we say in French. Now he's there. He's back, I would say.
Yeah, he's a phenomenal tool to Toyota. That's the key thing. And you're right. Going to Finland, it's never been Seb's favourite place. It was never either of your favourite place, really, because you have to commit. It's so fast, and if you do have an off, it's a big one. So Seb was never a massive fan of it. So, look, I would love to see Sébastien Ogier doing the rest of the season. I think it would be great for the sport, it would be great for the fans, and I'm sure, certainly, it would be great for Toyota as well. So, look, let's wait and see.
My theory about that was that if we talked about it enough, it might just happen.
Listen, there's nothing wrong with a bit of pressure from the background.
Yeah.
What's coming next for Seb?
Yeah.
You mean?
If we talk about it enough, you know, sometimes you might will these things along the way.
I know what he will do, and he's on pace to say what he will do. But
you've got the worst poker
for
face
sure
ever.
He has been he has been doing grace many times also. So I would not be surprised that he might be there.
There's lots of rallies coming up that suit him, and he's been quick there before in the past. So let's wait and see. But I think it would be great to have Seb knocking around.
I think we've made this significantly awkward enough that we might get something, an announcement soon. You never know.
I don't think he's going to be swayed by us three sat on a sofa in Latvia, put it that way.
It's a very fair point. All right. Well, winning team principal Jari-Matti Latvala always got a lot to smile about at the moment. Let's listen in.
Jari-Matti, you can smile now, breathe a sigh of relief, because even that drama for Sesks just shows how it's not over till it's over. A 1-2, another Rovanperä win. How are you feeling?
Yeah, it's always nervous to be in the power stage, especially when you see Sesks having issues. You know, you always start to think, you know, if whatever happens, one of our cars, and when you are still fighting for the victory. But yeah, we can be relieved now. It's been a fantastic event for us, taking the 1-2 from the rally. I think a really important and vital points for the championship at the moment, because we've been 10 points behind Hyundai on the manufacturer championship. So these points are really valuable now and gives them confidence then to go to Rally Finland.
Yeah, Rally Finland next. I mean, come on, it doesn't get much better than that, does it?
No, the home event is always special, and I know that we need to be in top form in Finland. So, but we've seen that the performance of the car has been super here in Latvia. The driver's been really fast. So this gives us a good, I think, starting point in Finland.
All right, Jari-Matti Latvala there before. That was easier for me to say than we thought. Just one thing on Finland. That man's going to be there.
Yeah, exactly. So Jari-Matti's going to be in the car as well, which will be great. The fans will absolutely love that. I think he's in a Rally 2 car, isn't he? And I just have to say as well, before we move on to WRC 2, when you look at the performance of the Toyota on the really fast stuff, you'd have to say, with a little bit of home advantage as well, because of course they're based in Finland, that the Toyota would be the tool to have on those fast finish roads. The Hyundai's been working really, really well on the technical stuff, but I think the Toyota will be properly quick in Finland as well.
Do you know, again, when I spoke to Jari, he said exactly the same thing. When they came in here, they thought the Hyundais might have the pace, and actually they're really impressed with what the Toyota's doing. I'm going to stop your wonderful thought because we need to get onto the WRC 2 before we run out of time. An incredible weekend for Oliver Solberg, taking that Forum 8 most stage wins. I think, of course, because of the pace that he had. Just a brilliant weekend for Oliver. And like you said, it's really nice to be able to win back. I think Calais and Oliver, it's kind of a second or third home rally for them, you know?
Yes, they were 13, 16, 10 years old when they did this rally. I mean, it doesn't make sense anymore. So Oliver Solberg, the DNA is in his blood for sure, with Peter Solberg, with his Pernilla Solberg. This is just a rally family. Still, he was not happy. I mean, you know, he was the one also saying, I struggle with the grip, I do some good times, I try to push and blah, 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 blah. But Oliver Solberg, in the end, was, on another planet. I know that Oliver is really good in those landscapes, in those roads, and I wait for him to deliver a better pace, I would say, and better luck or better performance overall in other surfaces.
Yeah, and like I mentioned already, he won the Forum 8 award for most stage wins. That's a nice addition to winning here in Latvia. It's something that is new this year to us. A Forum 8 award for most stage wins normally goes to the rally winner, but not always.
Yeah, it's whoever wins the most stages in WRC2. I have to say nobody came close to that man this weekend, and Julian said it perfectly. He was in a league of his own this weekend, absolutely deserved the victory. And, you know, looking ahead to Finland, the one thing that he'll take from this weekend on these really high-speed roads is confidence. Rallying is a confidence sport, and if you've got confidence, you'll attack the stages, and that Skoda as well has been hooked up this weekend. It was also nice to see as well, I have to say, his Top Sport Skoda teammate Gus Greensmith was finally found some pace on the final stage in WRC2, so hopefully we'll see Gus going well in Finland, but for sure keep your eyes on that young man because confidence is high for sure.
Yeah, okay, and you're mentioning Gus, not scoring points here, so not the worst situation to not have had the best weekend, get it out the way and get on to Finland.
Yeah, basically a glorified testing session for him, but it seemed like it worked for them as we have a look at the podium. Great to see Mikko Heikkilä up there as well. Sami Piari confirmed in third, but for Gus, it was a glorified testing session. They made lots of changes to that car. Basically, it was all for Rally Finland in a couple of weeks.
All right, we're talking about changes. Let's have a look at the overall classifications, and then why I'm talking about changes. Oliver Solberg leading the way in Rally Latvia, taking the victory. Mikko Heikkilä, Sami Piari, Gus Greensmith, Geisen, and Zalvadir there. That is how it shaped up at the end of a fantastic weekend here in Latvia. But why I'm talking about changes, have a look at the overall standings. The championship standings for WRC2 are looking a little different at the moment. It is Oliver Solberg sitting at the top, 86, taking Sami Piari off the throne there with 83 points. Johan Russell slipping down to 71, but I'm sure there's more in store. Nikolai Greisen in fourth. He kept us entertained this weekend, actually. He's been a pleasure to watch this weekend. Jan Solans, Larry Una, and finishing up there, Mikko Heikkilä finds himself in 10th overall now. All right, well, I believe you've got something. I like the cheeky look. Okay, so just tell me what's going on.
Well, I just have a selection of my own private phone that I just set on TV, and so you don't know what I'm speaking about.
I've got no idea what's happening.
I could not show everything. Here we are. This is the beginning of my career,
oh my goodness,
the second rally of my career. So you see my nice overall.
Is that you?
Yeah.
It is me. It is.
You look like something out of a 70s movie. That's amazing.
Yeah, like in Brad Pitt movies. So it was us. So it was my first checking at the time controls.
Memories?
Sorry?
What memories do you have of that?
It was great because it was the family that was doing, the service park and everything. We have another one.
Okay.
Then the start with Seb, we look young also. I know everything. It was
right at the start of like the FFSA days, wasn't it? When you
yeah, this is when we won our first rally in Gap, and actually we were using some stages that we used a few years after in Monte. Here we are in Jordan.
Yes.
True. I walked to the top of this temple, but it wasn't the case of everyone. So, some people were a bit more lazy, let's say.
There's a lawsuit coming your way after this one, fella, I can guarantee that.
Oh, fantastic.
Sébastien Ogier riding a donkey.
The donkey should be the one that is grumpy, but in the end, this is Seb that was a bit having a strange face.
Amazing.
Maybe next one.
Is there more to
Here we are. This is yours. It was in Rally Poland. Do you recognize people on the right?
Well, that's Daniel on the right. And that man in the middle kept us fed for a long, long time and looked after us in the Citroen days. What a legend. That's brilliant.
I'm not sure, but at least now this is released.
That's
so
Will in the middle.
Go back.
Is that Will in the middle?
Yes.
Yeah.
Here we are with Mr. Mysterio, but this is when we won a title. I think it was in GB with Seb, and I can tell you that it was good fun to celebrate alone on the road section with two Mysterios.
Amazing memories along the way. Okay.
And sometimes you have to just release the tension of the rally outside of it.
Who's in the other?
So I think I was on the right, yes, and Seb was waiting for me to bounce me and to fight me with those sumo overalls. So you see, the rally is not all about being inside the rally car. This is also living other stories.
I feel like we might need to make this a regular feature. Julian Ingrassia's photos.
I enjoyed that. That was great. Yeah, it was mega.
Amazing. All right, well, let's have a look at the championship standings as they are now. We move away from round 8. Things looking different again. It is Thierry Neuville that still has the lead with 145 points. But yes, this is the problem for Elfyn Evans. Ott Tänak has taken second in the overall championships. Elfyn Evans now sits in third with 32 points there. Adrian Formeau is just behind Sébastien Ogier, but Sébastien Ogier in fourth. That's why we're talking about what can he do you from there. Kalle Rovanperä in 6th, Taka in 7th, Andreas Mikkelsen 8th, 9th, Postani Sordo and Esa-Pekka Lappi in 10th. But huge disappointment there for Elfyn Evans dropping that place. Manufacturers now 351 points to Hyundai, 350 for Toyota. It's just the points separating them. M Sport Ford on 177. So that's how we're all shaping up as we leave round 8 here. Okay, well, as we are leaving here, it is just a matter of weeks away, I'd say days away, even before we head to Finland. So what's in store? Take a look. One of the founding fathers, an incredible ret. Julian has been doing this all weekend, a skill that I never thought we needed, but now we do. Right. The weekend here in Latvia is done and dusted. Such disappointment for Mārtiņš Sesks, an incredible rally. Again, another win for Kalle Rovanperä. Jenny, thoughts?
Incredible from Kalle, I have to say, and yeah, look, for me, it's all about the championship. You know, it's closed right up. I mean, Ott Tänak's got the job done. The gap now to himself and Thierry Neuville, just 8 points, and we're seeing in finally in this new point system, it's really worked well. It's really closed up. So for me, the championship has absolutely come alive this weekend as we go to, for me, what is the most exciting rally of the year, Rally Finland, because these things are absolutely phenomenal through the stages. So, yeah, it's been a great weekend here in Latvia. Thank you very much for having me.
10 days away or so before we get to Finland. I know, obviously, the highlight, myself and Jenny, but a good weekend for you?
Come on, of course, discovering a new rally, being with you guys and watching what is made internally in the WRC, with the WRC promoter, the WRC TV, everyone, and the FIA. So it's good for me to be part of the game. After no, I say it because it's also important, and we want the sport to be better and better. So let's go for it.
All right, well, it's been an absolute pleasure bringing you all of the action throughout the weekend. So for the last time here in Latvia, see you in Finland. It's goodbye for now.